The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
Yet our guest up here, George.
Hey, you hear me?
George from Binghamton, what's going on, man?
Yeah, Southern Tier, New York. Not too much. How are you?
Good, man. Good. You want to quickly introduce yourself? I'll bring up your XMR Bazaar post. But yeah, for those who don't know what we're referencing here, George recently, a few weeks ago, posted on XMR Bazaar land that is for sale in Binghamton. I think it's like 16 acres. And he's posted it on XMR Bazaar, so willing to sell it for Monero, which I think is super cool. But yeah, George, if you want to give us a little background, tell us about yourself, and why are you selling your land in Binghamton for Monero?
Well, I was seeing if any interest was there. I like Monero. It's like the closest cash equivalent cryptocurrency there is. And I'd like to see if there's any interest in that. I've seen a few ads here and there for like apartments and things. So I was like, oh, maybe someone would be interested in land for their Monero. Also, is like, I guess if you're an investor type person and you have like extra crypto laying around, maybe you want to hedge your investments and get some land and diversify your portfolio or whatever.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll bring up. Wait, let me try to. I'm gonna take your. Is that you on stage right now, or that's?
I pulled that up. It's the Zillow.
Wait, yeah. Let me just bring that down. Bring up the XMR Bazaar. There you go.
Yes, I'm Atomic Fox on that XMR Bazaar thing.
So yeah, you have it listed as 16 acres, huge vacant residential land, upstate New York in Binghamton, and it's listed for $85,000, which currently is 371 Monero. I think it's super cool, man. I've never considered buying land in Binghamton, right? It's not something that was ever on my radar, but now that it's on XMR Bazaar for Monero, it becomes interesting. Like you said, it could, if nothing more than a way for people that might want to sell some of their Monero at some point and move into another good store of value. Land has always infamously been a good store of value. Binghamton, New York, isn't it? So do you live in Binghamton?
I live in Endicott, like in the same vicinity there. It's like 10 minutes away.
And the land itself, I'm like kind of a little familiar with it. You know, I know the area. I've been through it. I had friends that went to Binghamton University.
Oh wow.
They went to the engineering program over there in Binghamton. It's good school. The location of the land, it's like it's right outside the city itself, right?
It's on the very edge. It still is within the city, which is good and bad. I mean, it means you have the city water and sewer, so there's convenience there for development purposes if you want, and a gas line. That's all like maybe 200-300 feet away at the road where the road ends. So it's not too far to bring it in if you wanted. Electric is pretty close too. There's one pole that goes in there, so you already have like a 60-foot line going in on the one side.
And it's like on a hill on like overlooking the city?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It'd be good for like a walkout basement type house, or you could bring in some fill, I guess, to level some parts out if you want. There's some more gentle sloping areas in there as well. There's a rough logging road thing if people have like a 4x4, like a good pickup truck or a Jeep that can get back there pretty easily. And at this point, even like a Subaru Outback or something could get down to the main part pretty easily. But there's another part that you probably want something more significant than that.
And what is it zoned for? Like, if somebody bought this, could they just start building, building a house there? Obviously, they got to bring, like you said, bring in the utilities and whatnot. But
Yeah, it's zoned as the single. It's vacant residential land is what it's zoned for currently,
mhm.
and you can build a single family, or I looked into it. You can get up to a duplex there to let you make a 2 unit in those things if you want.
What are you saying? What kind of? I'm surprised. 16 acres. Yeah, I would think they'd let you subdivide it and build.
Oh yeah, you could do that
Right?
too. You can make a bunch of different lots. I thought about doing that. Um, yeah, you could easily put like 30 houses there on like half-acre lots. It'd be pretty nice spaced out.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The
Pretty
actual
wild.
city lots are on the smaller side. You could make them as small as like 50 by 100, or maybe even like 30 by 100.
A little Monero land in the hills of Binghamton, New York.
Yeah, you could. I thought about making like those like little tiny homes or like small cabins up there. Or someone also said you could do a like a Airbnb campground or something. But I don't know
hmm
how. I guess I don't know. To me, it's like I don't know if that would be a need in the area, but maybe.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Is there demand, right? I don't, I guess if it's marketed the right way. How long have you had this land? Is this land you had it for a long time?
I've had it for 5 years.
Okay, very cool. And have you developed on land in the Binghamton area?
No, I have not. It was just
Yeah,
I just liked the lot there. I just kind of hang out there occasionally, camp out there, enjoy the view. Nice little thing to do. I thought about
that's.
building just one house out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you could build like one nice house out there, and because the hospital is pretty close. The hospital is like maybe you can walk there. It's like 10-minute walk. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is unique, right? Because it feels like it's a big piece of land. It's like very rural, yet it's walking distance into the city of Binghamton, which is kind of cool. It's
right, yeah.
yeah, that is kind of nice. I don't really know much about the city of Binghamton, but I assume there's really not that much going on, right? Like there's a university there. I don't know what Binghamton's like these days.
It depends. I mean,
Obviously,
there's stuff if you like, there's the zoo's actually. You could walk to the zoo from there too. The zoo's surprisingly okay considering it's a small, medium city.
oh, that's cool.
There's the Binghamton Philharmonic if you're into that. They're actually pretty good. So they're on par with big city philharmonic things or orchestral things. There's the vintage arcade on Clinton Street, which is probably one of the biggest retro arcades next to the one in like Laconia, New Hampshire. That one's pretty legit. But besides that one, I would say it's probably like the second or third biggest one in the Northeast.
Oh,
There's
that's
not too
cool.
many.
Are there any like restaurants and bars?
Oh yeah, it's a college town.
Yeah, so this,
Tons of
this is like a
bars.
decent social scene.
And there's a lot of
'Cause-
old like Italian places too from the peak golden era of IBM and all the manufacturing that was here. So there's still a decent.
right, that's when Binghamton was really rocking and rolling, and then I guess there was a big drain, obviously, when they left. So it's like it's still recovering from that, right? I assume.
I'm always surprised the ones that are still here. I mean, BAE's still here. Lockheed Martin's like 15 minutes away. Um, Unilam. There's electronics, a lot of like smaller metal places, EMT. There's a big pipe, plastic pipe manufacturer here. Macintosh, the high end stereo equipment, they're right next door in Conklin, New York. They're in I was shocked when I found that out.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know that was still all happening up there.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of stuff still here.
And obviously, I don't know. I don't really know much about the land value in that area, but it seems like 85,000 for 16 acres. It seems like a nice piece,
No,
nice
that's not
piece of
bad.
land.
That's right around where it should be a decent buy for somebody at like 4,000 an acre or so. It's pretty standard.
What's like the cost to carry that land if you were to buy it? Like, what are the current cost to carry even just as a vacant lot?
The taxes are around 3,000 a year,
Okay, low
which
enough.
is not horrible, but compared to other places, it's a little high.
Yeah,
But then again, you are in the city still, and
yeah.
you're paying for your city conveniences.
Yeah, it's not like $500, which yeah, but it's all right. It's still relatively low considering 16 acres of land.
Right in New York, in like a metro-ish area.
Yeah, I mean, I picture like a little a little Monero spa in the mountains over there. You know.
True, I thought about that. So you could build like a lodge. You could rent out a lodge for like a weekend. Maybe there's people that would be into that, a getaway. People come up here for the weekends. I've noticed that New York City people come up here.
Yeah. If you can make it nice, you can make some nice Airbnb accommodations. Have some hot tubs, some saunas. It, it could be cool.
Yeah, I
I mean,
thought
it's
about
it's
that.
nobody's going to Binghamton for the weather. That's the thing, right? So like, it
Oh
has
yeah,
to.
I always laugh when they put up like these solar farms, and I'm like, it's like one of the cloudiest places around.
Yeah, because you got the lake effects over there, right?
It's like cloudy 50% of the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you need some good amenities there. You need some nice spa, nice gym, some maybe some red light therapy.
Right. The lake effect snow's not too bad. You get like a little tail end of it, and you're like in between like the nor'easters of the coast and like the lake effect, so you get like a
Right,
little bit of both, but it's not like super crazy.
right. But I think that's where you're getting all the clouds from, though, too. It's probably from the lake effect, right? Like why
I
is it
don't know the
so
cause of
damn
it.
cloudy all the
I
time?
don't know the cause. Someone should study that. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't know
maybe
the
we could.
cause. Yeah, the Finger Lakes are like not that far away. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay,
It's like just enough to make a cloud, but not make it rain.
right. Well, I love seeing this pop up on XMR Bazaar. Dream come true for me just to see it get posted. So I would love to see. I don't know. Maybe we start to see more of a Monero rally. The broader market starts to go up, and people might be looking to spend some Monero. Maybe some people will buy some land. Buy some land in upstate New York. It is there. It is for sale. What is your crypto story, man? Obviously, you found your way to Monero. Have you been in crypto for a long time? What are you willing
You
to tell us of
know,
your
uh,
crypto story? You don't have to
there's
divulge more than you want to.
I forget, like, I guess I'm not much. I don't remember the first time I heard of Bitcoin. I guess there was a friend that was into it, and then later on in like 2013-ish, I was working at a pizza place, and this one guy wanted to like start mining Bitcoin, and my first question was, well, like, where's it gonna be, and who's gonna control it, and like, how do I get my half out? And like, that was always a he was always like never like fully transparent about that, so that never got started. But it was like, man,
Okay.
if he was more with it,
That was 2012. You said?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice.
So I don't know if he ever did that either, but I
Okay.
was like, well, how do I watch it? And back then it was tough. You couldn't just like go download a wallet. It was like strange. There's
Yeah.
only like one place to get one. Like, what?
Right. You need to run like the full client and kind of like know what you're doing a little bit. Um,
And then
and then
eventually
go
Coinbase
ahead.
happened, and I was able to get some on there.
Okay.
Then I mined Ethereum for a while in 2000, what was that, 17, 16,
Okay.
17-ish. And then
Very
they
cool.
went to proof of stake, which I don't know. Some people like that. I don't like that as much because I'm a fan of letting anybody like do it. Like anybody with a graphics card could have been a part of it, and I kind of like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking to Bawdy about that proof of work versus proof of stake, and then Bawdy bringing up the point that there's not all proof of stake is the same, right? Not all of it's
Right.
provably fair and done in a way that's.
There's pros and cons. Proof of stake is
Mhm.
easier for like the more generic investor, like, oh, I put my money in and I get a little bit back, kind of like buying a stock and getting a dividend or whatever, or getting a bond and interest.
Mhm.
Versus mining it, I guess there is where there was a technical barrier there. You had to learn how to set all the things up and get whatever program you wanted to run and get a wallet for it to go to. And it was, yeah, definitely more involved than just buying it and okay, here it is.
And then what was your path to Monero? Were you aware of Monero from the earlier days? Is it something you kept an eye on?
Yeah, like you just hear about it like in the circles of it. And I remember when the whole Mount Gox thing like blew up there and the whole government taking over like Silk Road and all that. And then like I think you like heard it like on the side of that, like, oh, you could have used Monero and not got your Bitcoin stolen by the government or whatever. It's like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you keep
Start,
hearing it, and then eventually you like look at it because you're like, oh, it's that thing that I heard of again.
right when you start like you see it in the New York Times, right? It's like, all right, well, you know, people are
Yeah,
mentioning
it
it,
just gets
whether
mentioned,
for
and
good
then it's like,
reasons or
oh,
bad reasons. It keeps coming up as a name, and this thing Monero that they used, like, wait, what? Why are they using Monero?
and yeah, it's still not available on Coinbase, sadly, and I don't understand like why they don't. I guess it's sort of
Yeah.
more complex to have in that sense on an exchange. At this
Well,
point, they
I mean,
don't like it, but
like yeah, so yeah, we're fellow New Yorkers, right? So you've both been in crypto for some time now, and you've never been able to get Monero on a centralized exchange here in New York. I
yeah,
talk
it's
about that
terrible.
all the time. Yeah, it's terrible. You cut off so many people, right? Like even you, right? In the earlier days when you first got on Coinbase, if Monero was there as an option, you probably would have bought some, right? You probably would have.
Yeah, I would have been able to store it because it's more
Yeah,
like it's more stable. It's more like flat,
yeah.
like it kind of holds its value in a way.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go down that road a little bit here and see if we could get Monero listed on an exchange in New York. I in New York they have the bit license. The exchanges here in New York that do have the bit license, they offer Zcash, but they don't offer Monero. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. It's a little bit of Zcash versus Monero, and so they don't want to list Monero because they're
Yeah, I
they're
don't know
Zcash.
much about Zcash. Like, what's that about? Like, what's their story? Who owns that? Who made that?
Well, I mean, Zcash has been around for as long as Monero, and
No, I
it's
don't know.
they have really interesting tech. But the primary kind of differences between Monero and Zcash project is Monero is really always more truly open source. There's no entity that controls Monero. Zcash has a corporation associated with it, which
Right.
there are some benefits to that. It allowed them to basically put money towards marketing and development, whereas in Monero, it's just an open source community, kind of like Bitcoin itself, right? There's no corporation, there's no company associated with it. There's no dev tax, there's no treasury of that we can pull from to pay for things, and it's all volunteer based. That's kind of the primary difference between the two projects. And then obviously the fact that Monero has always been private by default from day one, and Zcash has optional privacy. And then there's technological differences between how the privacy works. If anything, Zcash arguably beats Monero in terms of its quote unquote privacy tech. But because of the way it's implemented things along the way and its corporate structure and its unwillingness to be private by default from day one, and the fact that it has this dev tax, Monero has become more trusted as the crypto to use when you want to transact privately. So that's why you've seen it become more adopted in the dark markets. those that actually want privacy are choosing Monero. I would say is kind of the difference between the two projects. But what the advantage
known as
the
that.
advantage that Zcash has also had is that it's been listed on more of these exchanges because of that dev tax, because of the founders. So a lot of the early people that were founders of Zcash are also involved in these exchanges and are the same investors that own these exchanges. So there's a little bit of that going on too.
Right. And it's a shame that New York kind of closes its door or sets up that toll booth. I don't know how expensive it is, but even Binance was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's really not even the money. It's more of you got to go kiss the ring, and I don't think anybody can just get one of these bit licenses. It's like political at that point. So
Ugh, terrible.
yeah. So we got to get rid of it here in New York. Maybe that will happen. I'm gonna try to. I keep saying I want to try to help make that happen now that we have Trump in office. Like now is the time to strike and try to get rid of the bit license in New York, and then we can have Monero here listed on exchanges. A lot of people in the Monero community though will say like, oh, they don't even want to see Monero on centralized exchanges because they like the fact that basically people need to obtain it KYC free, right? They need to do things like sell something for it to get their Monero, or they need to go obtain it on a decentralized exchange with another crypto, so that everybody that is essentially obtaining Monero isn't doing it through a centralized exchange where everybody's being KYC'd. I personally, I love that in theory, but I do want to see it on more centralized exchanges so it's more accessible to people that want, like noobs that just want to get some.
Yeah. Like when I was starting out, I would have loved to be able to just go buy it.
Yeah. And the difference between Monero and other cryptos is when you pull it off Coinbase or your centralized exchange, nobody knows what you've done with it thereafter. So like, yeah, Coinbase may know that you bought some Monero, but once you pull it off, they don't know. As opposed to when you pull off your Bitcoin or your Ethereum, right? They could see where the money flows thereafter. So if anything, we should be directing noobs to buy Monero off if they're going to buy any crypto on a centralized exchange. Ideally, it would be like a Monero, but it's not on Coinbase. It is on Kraken though. I don't know if you're familiar, but Kraken isn't offered to New York customers.
No, it's not. I've heard of it. It looks pretty okay. Binance was awesome. They made me close my account. I knew numerous people that had to close their Binance accounts. I had a Bittrex account that got closed.
Yeah, New York has really been kept out of the broader crypto market, right? There's been we're in a walled garden here in New York.
It's really unfortunate because it makes it. I would even say it's a class action lawsuit worthy. You made all these people miss out on a lot of things.
Exactly. Well, it's very cool.
I'm not sure if you can even get I know that Coinbase kind of offers some sort of futures now or options now, but for the longest time you couldn't even do that.
Have you, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, how have you obtained Monero in the past? You've used like instant exchanges and whatnot, or
the atomic swap stuff, atomic wallets.
Okay.
Back in the day with like localbitcoin.com.
Okay, you were using like local Monero, local Bitcoin to get Monero.
Yeah,
for cash,
and then I don't know.
like
I guess local Bitcoin got shut down or whatever. That
Very
was
cool, man.
Because that was a cool page.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to bring some of that vibe back to XMR Bazaar without getting ourselves in trouble, right? So XMR Bazaar, people are using it to post goods and services. But people are also posting like, we'll buy, looking to buy euros for Monero, right? And so we're going to add some more features to make that more usable, like a local Monero feature set to XMR Bazaar without us being a part of it.
But they have like those like Bitcoin ATMs. I don't know, is there like a XMR ATM network?
There are some Monero ATMs around the world, different parts. We should have those posted. Yeah, we should have the map of that posted on. We should add that to the XMR Bazaar map. That's actually a really good point. We need to bring that data in there. So any
I've never used one. I hear like they're like a pretty steep, like 7-10% fee or something.
yeah, usually steep fees, and then a lot of are KYC'd.
How?
But there
You
are
show
some
up there
places.
with cash and you type in the thing. Like, how could they ask you to like scan your like? Would you? I mean, what do they do? Ask for a license? You scan into an ATM? I would never.
Yeah, they ask for things like right and like take your picture. I've never used them, but I think
Yeah,
there
there's
are
one I
one.
know of that does accept Monero, but it's like full KYC. Like you had to literally give them a picture of your driver's
There you go.
license and selfie, all that
Really?
Yeah.
blah 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 stuff.
That
Yeah.
defeats the whole purpose
Yep.
of
Yep.
having like ATM.
Yeah, I mean to a degree, I guess. But since it's Monero, at least it's like not your identity isn't infinitely tied to the
That's true.
the path that the Monero coins will take. But it's still really not ideal. It's kind of anti-cypherpunk.
Right.
Like what is the best map listing all the Monero ATMs? Because we got to add that data to XMR Bazaar.
In the U.S., there's not many. There's just one company I know, Bit Federal, that has Monero on ATMs. There might be another one, but I don't know of it. Globally, there's definitely a lot more.
Yes, yeah. And some of them globally, I think, where like you really aren't KYC'd, you could basically. I think that does exist.
Yeah, Europe
The ones
used to
in Mexico.
have when they first came out. Europe always had like Bitcoin ATMs and like Bitcoin cards you could use, like the bank cards, debit cards. I was like, oh, that's great. We should get them, and like we still don't have them.
Yeah, these things take longer than we hope for, right? Always seems to be the case. What do you think of XMR Bazaar? I think it's super cool that you found how'd you find your way to it? Was it through the show or just?
I believe that was like a Reddit post on the
very cool.
Monero Reddit.
Very cool.
Reddit used to have a lot cooler like crypto things and like market things, and they seem to like they're a little bit gatekeepier now. They kind of like shut down some of the communities in there, but the Monero one's still there, so that's good.
Yeah, Monero one is still pretty popular. I think we used to have a lot more people on there though, right? On Reddit, on Monero, I feel like it used to be more popular as a place to go, but still has the latest Monero news. Did you post the property anywhere else for crypto, or was it just XMR Bazaar?
Just XMR Bazaar, and I may have made a post in our Monero. The
Okay,
Bitcoin
cool.
people are really kind of like jerky about stuff. It's like, this isn't about Bitcoin. Even when I asked a Bitcoin options futures question, they fucking they banned that too. I'm like, what? It's not about Bitcoin. I'm like, it is about Bitcoin.
That's crazy.
It's like only coin related things.
I do think it's interesting, like, that you found your way to XMR Bazaar and posting it there, and there is no XMR Bazaar for Bitcoin right now, right? There really is nothing that like peer-to-peer market on Bitcoin.
No, and I'm
now.
kind of surprised at that too.
Right?
LocalBitcoin.com was the closest thing we ever had.
Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, I love to see it because I love to see that Monero is leading the way there. And maybe we bring Bitcoiners over here to XMR Bazaar, those that are in it for the right reasons, that want to like use their crypto. We are going to add multi-coin options, so you'll be able to pay in various cryptos, and then it would just get instant exchanged into Monero for the seller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I figured that could be a good way to bring in other people. Maybe somebody wants to go spend their Bitcoin, spend their Dogecoin, but the seller will always receive Monero, so they could get their untraceable Monero in exchange. So that could be a win-win. Yeah, it brings more people into the ecosystem, and then it's still a way for people to obtain Monero.
Yeah, they always try to make it sound bad, but it's like it's the cash equivalent. Like if you said that about you bought a donut untraceably with cash, they always make it sound so bad.
Yeah. That's the hope too, right? We want to change the narrative, right? So XMR Bazaar, it's not some dark market. It's people selling honey, land in Binghamton,
It's a
selling
guy with
selling.
olive oil from Italy. That guy's cool. All the
Yeah,
Italian stuff.
yeah. Have you made any purchases? Have you tried to make any purchases?
I've been sending messages to the guy in Italy. I'm trying to figure out like an economic way if I could buy in bulk or something. The shipping's a bit much for one bottle of olive oil to try it out.
Okay. Yeah, I think that
But
might
I
be the
am
same.
interested.
I think that's the same guy I bought Parmesan from. It's very good. Very good. It was like really legit.
Awesome.
I know my Parmesan. It was very good. Um, it was like yeah, like small batch from some town where he's from. Yeah, because you don't realize it. Like there's all different. Just like there's different variations of olive oil. There's Parm is not the same depending on where you get it in Italy. The farm it comes from. Oh,
Mm,
it was very good. Very good.
nice.
Um, yeah, man. Anything else we should be getting out there? Do you are you on X? Do you have an X account or no?
I'm Void One t-shirts, but I don't really use it much.
Okay.
I sell
Well, I'm
t-shirts.
bringing that up too because we added on XMR Bazaar. We added a way to confirm your XMR Bazaar account with your X account. You can connect it, but I mean, if you don't have much of a following over there, it doesn't really make
No, I'm
sense.
bigger on Instagram. I like
Okay.
Instagram better.
Okay.
When for the original sole purpose of sharing pictures, then it turned into like influencer status stuff.
Yeah. I don't spend much time over there. I'm on X all the time. And then, and so too, we added a way so you can receive notifications on XMR Bazaar via
I've
Sig.
tried that. You know
Well,
what's funny? When I signed
we
up,
didn't add it. We didn't even launch it yet, but it's like being launched now. But you'll be able to connect your Signal, your Simple X account,
oh,
or
okay,
your session. Like I assume like you use Signal, right? You probably have a Signal account. So then you don't have to keep logging in to see if you missed your messages. So you'd get a message on
right.
Signal. Yeah.
Uh, are you like close with the dev team there? Because I think you have to typing in your like seed word every time to get to your inbox is a bit cumbersome.
Yeah, no, I'm one of the I'm the one kind of running the thing. Obviously I'm not a dev. So yeah, definitely tight with them. So you're saying every time you log in it's asking you to re-enter your seed?
Yeah,
That's
when I
problem.
go to click on the inbox, it's like, oh, type in your, I forget if it's 16 or 20 words or whatever.
Yeah, you shouldn't cuz maybe
Well,
you're
it's not
clearing.
words. It's like a four. It's like letter, like four blocks with four letters.
Yeah, it's basically your mnemonic. It's your PGP key. But that should only be so if you don't log out and you stay logged in, then it should be fine. And then maybe you're clearing your browser every time. Maybe is that what's happening?
Yeah, I have it set up to kind of like delete everything. So maybe
Okay,
if I had
that's
like
why.
cookies and all that, it wouldn't ask me
Yeah,
that.
because you're clearing your browser every time.
Okay,
Even if, which is understandable if that's what you want to do, but that's why it's asking you to re-enter your key.
okay,
But yeah, we're adding that notificate that should even be up probably hopefully by the end of the day, and then you could connect your Signal account to it, and you'd get messages on your Signal whenever you receive a
oh,
DM or if somebody were to place an order, make an offer on your land, just so you wouldn't miss it. You'd get a
right.
notification.
I
So
signed up when I made my account. I clicked the yes for the email notifications, and then I
okay.
wasn't getting any. And then when I went back into the settings, it wasn't turned on. Like it didn't like carry over somehow.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Was it going to spam?
No, I looked in all of them. I didn't see that.
Okay.
So I
All right.
don't.
Well, yeah, we're making improvements there. We're fixing all the notifications, including email itself, so that you would get notifications on everything. So
Okay.
that should, yeah. So hopefully that'll launch
Yeah,
by the
that
end
would
of the
be
day
good.
today. Yeah, we'll get that up there because that's a big deal because people are missing each other. They're on here, but nobody's like sitting on XMR Bazaar all day to see if they're getting a message, right? Like they
Right.
need to they
Yeah,
need to
it's
get
not at that
notified.
level yet. It's
Yeah,
not at
yeah.
the AOL Instant Messenger, Yahoo Messenger status back in the day.
Exactly. Hey man, any so since you're somewhat local, any chance we see you at PorkFest in New Hampshire?
That's really funny. Like, I've been on their mailing list for years. I've never actually gone though, and I don't even remember how I first found out about it. Maybe like the whole like Ron Paul movement in 08, 09. It like
Mm-hmm.
came up somewhere like, oh, we're gonna make this thing in New Hampshire. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
consider coming because we're gonna have a large tent there. We're doing like a MoneroTopia at PorkFest, so we're gonna have a tent there. Teaming up with Aaron Day. We'll have speakers, and it's during MoneroCon, which is happening in Prague. So we'll be showing the talks that
Wow.
are happening in Prague there. It should be fun, and then PorkFest itself is just it's a good
Is
time.
there
So you big
multiple ones? Like I've seen like there's a few different things like they do different events. Like there's the one in the summer and then there's one in the spring and like they had something that I've missed already this year, I think, in April.
Yeah, there's other things. There's other events that same group throws, but it's pork. There's only one Pork Fest per year.
Okay.
That's the one.
Is
The
that
one
like
main.
is it like a musical festival too and you can camp out there or something?
It's a bunch of libertarians that are camping out there with with their families and then living off of each other. Like so, anybody that like has a campsite like usually sets things up and like sells whatever, selling homemade
Wow.
cookies or selling all different types of food, crafts, whatever. Some people are there performing music. Lots of little like mini conferences kind of happening within PorkFest, like MoneroTopia. We're gonna have a big tent where people can come and watch privacy tech talks, but then there's like other tents focused on other things. So it's like this
Okay.
big decentralized conference where people just kind of come and really do whatever they want as long as
Yeah,
you're
they
not
were
hurting
yeah,
other
they caught my
people.
attention because they were like, "Oh, you could use Bitcoin or Monero here." And it was like years
Yes.
ago. And I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
wow."
Yeah, it was really one of the first places where crypto was used. I mean, there's stories of people that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars today because they were selling freaking like donuts at PorkFest in like 2011, for
Yeah, I should
Bitcoin.
have been on that.
So, but yeah, right now, like, so when you go to PorkFest, like now in this day, and like Monero's quite popular there, which is very cool to see.
Nice.
Bitcoin, not so much because people don't want to spend their Bitcoin. They don't want to pay the transaction fees. Sometimes the transaction fees are high on Bitcoin. So people are
Right.
there.
Sometimes
They're
it takes
spending.
long to do it.
Yeah, they're using Monero. They're using Bitcoin Cash. They're using like Litecoin. There's some Dash being used around there, and then like obviously Bitcoin Lightning Network. But I'd say in terms of the most used things are like Goldbacks and like Monero and Bitcoin Cash. It's kind of my anecdotal, observation of it.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, but like there's still like a ledger traceability on that or no?
Yeah, I mean they have tools built in, like Cash Fusion, I think it's called, that obfuscates the amounts and stuff. And I think they're adding more tech, but at the protocol level, it's like it's Bitcoin, right? It's a
Right, it's
transparent
still
ledger. It's a
somewhere.
transparent ledger.
Yeah,
So Monero definitely has them beat in terms of being like fungible and private, but they are,
right. Yeah.
uh,
Do you know the
but
story of like New Hampshire and that like libertarian movement there? Like I'm not sure when that started, but like there seems like that's like the state that has like libertarians and they're all in the state congress and trying to make more
yeah,
freedom and all that.
yeah, it's been going on for years. Well, they've always been the live free or die state, right? And then
Right.
I guess like 20 years ago now, or perhaps a little, yeah, there was a movement there where people got together. So let's start moving here in mass, and essentially trying to take over some of the local government and get libertarian people elected and change their ways. And yeah, Porkfest is part of that. It's basically that group of people that's been working on making New Hampshire like a libertarian stronghold. It's that same organization of people that go and throw Porkfest. And then yeah,
It's an
there's
interesting
part.
choice because it's kind of cold, but there's no income tax and there's
Mhm.
other benefits of that state.
Yeah, it's cold. I mean, beautiful in the summer. Like you're out in
Right.
Porkfest in, at Rogers Campground. It's beautiful on a sunny day. You're in the mountains over there. Obviously, good access to, to to meat and dairy, right? Good local farms. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
true. I
like
didn't think of that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's good living. Good great ice cream, right? But yeah, the winters are obviously tough. I mean, if you like a winter, if you like snow, then it's also the place to be for that.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
There's a
it's
lot of
it's
lakes
not.
there too. I was surprised. There's some big lakes there.
Yeah, beautiful nature. Yeah, beautiful hikes you can go on. But yeah, it's not. It's not Puerto Rico. It's not
And
Miami.
for some
It's
reason,
not.
houses always seem expensive there. I'm like, it's really cold here, and it's kind of the middle of nowhere. Why are houses so much money here?
Yeah, the real estate all over New Hampshire. I don't know. And then there's obviously the areas that where all the libertarians are hanging out. I haven't really looked recently to see what things cost there.
It's always been
Um,
on the higher side. 'Cause I remember looking when like I first heard of Porkfest. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go over there. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's expensive for New
mhm.
Hampshire.
Right, but taxes are low, right? Like you said.
Taxes are very low, yeah,
Hmm.
in comparison to like New York and other states. It's probably more affordable. But the initial like buy-in, I guess, is a little bit high
Hmm. Hmm.
for people starting out on their housing journeys or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really looked into there. Uh, but yeah, if you're interested, it's definitely a fun hangout. Porkfest. It's in June, mid-June. Starts
All
June
right.
16th.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I've just never been over there for that. Went to New Hampshire once and it was pretty nice. And I was like, okay.
Maybe you'll find a buyer for your land there. There'll be a lot of people there looking to spend Monero on various things. It's it's
That'd be
like it's
cool.
like a it's like an XMR bazaar in person in a lot of ways. Is what
That'd be
Porkfest
cool,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Yeah, greatly appreciate you jumping on. You're welcome to jump on this show. I don't know if this is your first time even like watching MoneroTopia show. Are you acquainted with it? Have you come across the show in the past or?
I've watched a few videos here and there.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with it. Yeah, I looked into it. I was like, oh, you've been doing this show for a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, if you ever want to jump up on a random, you were a special guest today, but then we also have viewers on stage at the end of the show, and we just let people in the community jump up. So if you ever want to jump up at a later date to let us know progress on anything, obviously, if you ever sell the land, to let us know. We'd love to. We could do another show. You could
Sure.
tell us how it went. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on, and maybe I see you at Porkfest, New Hampshire.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Sweet.